Folks, there's a saying, those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Today, I'd like to add to that, as long as Democrats are hell-bent on rewriting it, and oh, they are. Information control, that's power. All the challenges facing this country right now, we've seen them before. We've beaten them. There's nothing new here. We could learn from our mistakes, though, because the examples are all around us of prior failures. Yet, Democrats are hell-bent on isolating you from the truth by rewriting, condemning, and censoring the truth, or worse, calling the truth a conspiracy theory, their favorite lines. For example, conservatives, even some on the left, warned over and over again that we can't spend our way out of an inflation crisis. But we were told, don't worry. But now the humiliating Biden administration swoops in with another ridiculous plan.
I want every American to know that I'm taking inflation very seriously, and it's my top domestic priority. I think our policies help, not hurt. Think about what they say. The vast majority of the economists think that this is going to be a real tough problem to solve, but it's not because of spending. Our economy has gone from being on the mend to on the move.
So after spending trillions of dollars and doing nothing to help bring down gas prices, diesel prices, the baby formula crisis, the food shortage crisis, and the medical supply shortages crisis, Biden's plan is to tax the rich and spend even more money. Even worse, a year ago, his administration said inflation would never happen. And then when the inflation did happen, they said, yeah, no one could have predicted it.
I really doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle.
We know, if we look at the recent inflation data, as a result of President Putin's invasion of Ukraine and the impact on the global energy markets. Those are all steps and impacts that I don't think anyone could have predicted a year ago.
Really? No one predicted it? I guess I don't watch this show ever. I recall talking about it for months and months. Even former Clinton and Obama officials, yeah, even they sounded the alarm.
How long do you think inflation is going to go up?
I think the odds are that we're going to have inflation of a kind we haven't seen in 30 years until either the Fed takes some significant move with respect to monetary policy or until there's some kind of accident.
Did you notice the date on that clip, 2021? Sounds like kind of a year ago, right? But if you listen to their mindless media sycophants on the left, all you hear is it's all conservatives' fault and Democrats. They're the answer to all of our problems.
Do people out there really believe that the Republicans are going to make it all better? I mean, that is a pipe dream. Every time, as she pointed out, a Democrat's in office, the deficit goes down, the economy flourishes, and then a Republican comes in and destroys it all. Well, and then the next Democrats to come in and sweep it up and clean it up.
Folks, it's nothing new here. We've faced these problems before. Now let's apply this to COVID, too. The rewriting of history. The Biden administration continues to push vaccine mandates and masks, no matter how many COVID surges we see. But before the pandemic, people didn't really question the science behind masks. Look at this.
In one of their large studies, they basically showed that the masks, it seemed like the major efficacy of a mask is that it causes alarm in the other person. And so you stay away from each other. When I was in the SARS epidemic, I saw everywhere all over Asia, people started wearing these masks, and it is alarming when you walk down the street and everybody coming towards you has a mask on. You definitely do social distancing. You definitely, it's just a gut thing. But did the mask really help them? Did the mask keep the virus out? Almost certainly not. If the virus was around their face, the mask would not have made the difference.
Yeah, there it is. Fear, man. So the science around masks changed? Nah. But neither did the fear. Did you catch the woman in that clip who was sure to put a point on how masks keep people afraid of each other? But the left's messaging around masks had to be very, very controlled in order to keep us paralyzed by fear so they can justify their authoritarian overreach. They just couldn't tell us the truth, so we're doomed again to keep repeating the same mistakes with lockdowns and masks. It's an endless cycle of failure. Folks, listen, the only way they can accomplish this is by controlling the flow of information. You're going to hear it on this show today. That is power. That's why the left is freaking out, by the way, over Elon Musk's offer to buy Twitter. He threatens their monopoly on the control of information, and that is everything. Folks, that's why the media in the left is melting down. The Florida Governor, Ron DeSantis, is forcing schools to teach every November about the death and destruction directly attributable to communism. He understands that in order for America to learn from the horrors of socialism and communism in the 20th century, we have to teach it to our kids now. And the left despises them for it, folks. History, owning history, that's power. It's estimated the total body count from communist governments worldwide, from Mao's China to Cuba to the Soviet Union, could be more than 100 million people. Man, let that sink in for a minute. Folks, the federal government isn't going to teach our kids the history of communism, socialism, or inflation, because if they do, the radical left would cease to exist.